All right, everybody. Want to get on here real quick and address some comments that I'm a little tired of. Want to set the record straight once and for all about these comments, and we're going to put up some criteria on how you comment on my videos. We're going to do that up next quickly on the Maximum Overdrive. All right, Dan, open this up. early broadcast of the Maximum Overdrive, I'm going to be addressing some comments. And, guys, I'm just a little tired of the regurgitation of talking points. I mean, at some point, you have to use your brain to think for yourself. Many of you come at me with talking points created by other people. You don't have your own thoughts. You don't use common sense. You can't put two and two together. You just don't know how to use your own brain. You rely on faulty data from years ago. You don't know how accurate it is. You can't see what's going on out here in the real world today. And you just can't understand that what you see is in fact reality. Now, many of you come at me with all of these statistics about, the black man is taking care of his kids. Well, if that's true, maybe that was true at one point, maybe 2-3 decades ago, but it's not true now. With all of these so-called, how could that be true when all you guys do is complain about the high rate of single baby mothers? Something doesn't make sense. If you're saying that data shows that the black man takes care of his kids more than anybody else on earth, then why are you guys complaining about the large number and the growing number of single baby mothers? So how can both of those be true? How could the black man be taking care of his kids if every time you turn around, we had 2, 3, 4, 5, 100 baby mamas showing up, single baby mamas that are being created by black men who you say are taking care of their kids? And if that's the case, then why do we have a high rate of black men fighting against child support? See, it doesn't make any sense. This is what I mean. You don't have common sense. That'll tell you alone that the data that you're going off of either is outdated or is faulty. Now, I had a man comment on one of my podcasts. It was the podcast about me being hard on black men. Now, he said I was emotional. I'm not sure what he's talking about because in that podcast, really, there was nothing about emotion. And the things that I said, he said he wanted to go on data about what? If you want to look at the data about what I was talking about, all you have to do is read article after article after article after article. I mean, we have one article after another of black men killing kids, black men killing black women, black men killing black women, men and kids. I mean, it's right here in your face. I don't understand how you can ignore what's going on now, which is right in your face, and you want to talk about some data that's been taken. We don't even know when the data was taken. Many of you have no idea how this data was collected. You just believe whatever white people tell you. And many of you follow these factions like the Manosphere, the Hebrew Israelites, and you think that what they're saying is the truth too. So you just regurgitate what you hear from them. You don't have any thought of your own. Many of you guys can't even think. I don't understand how you complaining about someone else's podcast and making a comment when you don't even know how to think for yourself. See, the difference between you and I can think for myself. I can see things for what they really are. I can put two and two together. It's obvious that the data that you guys go off now is either outdated or faulty, because reality today just doesn't add up to the data that you have. So why go on that? You guys are like stuck in this rut about faulty data. Now, he said, how about in the comments, we're going to have Dame read the comment here in a minute, right? But he mentioned something about the data me not having any data. I'm not sure what he's talking about because the podcast was about how I grew up, what I saw, what I was taught versus what I see today. I'm not sure what data is he looking at or what data that he wants me to get to. Okay, because the podcast is very um, forthcoming. It was very clear. Now, you don't get to say, well, what about data? And that dismisses everything. Like a lot of you guys, as a matter of fact, this is one of the guys that believe that black women aborted 15 million children. So you actually believe that, don't you? This is what I'm talking about. You guys get these numbers and you run with them and you don't research these numbers. You don't pay attention to how these numbers are put together. You don't even pay attention to the concept behind these numbers. A lot of the concepts don't even make any damn sense. Like, for example, how could black women abort 15 million babies by themselves? You think they did that by themselves? You don't think any man was involved in those decisions? Because a lot of you brothers don't want kids. A lot of you brothers pay for the abortion. Many of you are willing to murder your own children right along with those black women. So how can you just blame only them? This is what I mean by not being able to use your own set of thoughts, not putting two and two together because you don't want to. You just want to go off of what you hear from a lot of these guys online who are angry with women, and they're using outdated statistics from white people, and they're putting that in your head, and that's what you're going with. I don't do that. I allow myself to see what's going on now. A lot of things that are happening now don't jive with your numbers. They don't jive with your data. It doesn't. So, Dame, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hold it down for 1 second. I gotta go out and come back in. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. On the black women abort 15 million kids. Look, I don't think those numbers are accurate. I don't know how they're coming about the statistics. Sorry, I always have a little problem with that word.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
And yeah, and so like I was saying, right? A lot of you just put stuff together because you hear other people talk about it. You hear the manosphere. You hear guys like Tommy Sotomayor. You hear Tariq Nasheed. You hear all these guys spew all of this stuff, and you believe that what they're saying is true. So you go by what they say. You don't do your own research because you're not in control of your own thoughts. You're not in control of your own mind. You want other people to tell you what to think rather than you go out and learn how to think on your own. And the problem that you're having with me is that you think I'm just like you, and I'm not. I think for myself. I don't let people tell me how to think and what to think and when to think. And because I get up here and express my thoughts, and I can put two and two together, and I can tell you what I see in reality, you guys got a problem with that, and you come and you tell me that I'm being emotional, which there's nothing wrong with emotions, by the way. The only issue with emotions is when people use emotions for an excuse to be psychotic. See, many of you are psychotic and you're blaming that on emotions. Many of you aren't healthy in the mind and you're blaming that on emotions. There's nothing wrong with emotions. Emotions help you keep your humanity intact. You guys always want to talk about emotions and downplay emotions for being psychotic. Many of you are psychotic, seriously. Many of you, your mind is screwed up. Don't blame that on emotions. Go see a psychologist or go get some therapy. Now, we're going to read a comment here in a minute that I got on my podcast about me being too hard on black men because you guys have been crying about me being too hard on black men, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But you're talking about data. What type of data are you talking about? You still believe that black women aborted 15 million babies by themselves? And why would you believe something like that? Why? Because somebody in the manosphere told you so? Because you have data from Planned Parenthood? As a matter of fact, that's not even the right data that comes from Planned Parenthood. It tells you how many babies were aborted, but doesn't tell you specifically that black women aborted those babies. And so, Dan, come on in here for a second. Let me get this comment out of the way, and we're going to talk about this comment. This is the kind of stuff that I get on my either in my email or a comment on one of my shows. I'm just getting a little tired of it because we're going to set some criteria. And if you don't meet that criteria, I'm going to delete your comment because I'm not going to address people who don't know how to think for themselves and don't want to think for themselves. If you're just coming in here regurgitating, I'm going to ignore your comment. I want people who know how to think, who are not just thinking what somebody else is telling them to think. All right, then, you got that comment up?
Mm. Okay. All right. You want me to
All right,
show it?
go on mute, James. Go on mute. Go on
Okay.
mute. Go on mute. All right, apparently my co-host doesn't have her act together. But anyway, the comment, hold on one second here. I was trying to see if I could find a comment myself here while I'm doing my live. Okay. So let me see if Dame is ready. Dame, are you ready?
Okay. All right. I'm sharing the screen. I'm sharing the screen with the comment. I don't know if anybody can see.
Jane, can you just read the comment, please?
We need data on black men, not wayward emotional opinion. This was the comment made on Gangster Talk. Am I being too hard on black men?
We need data on black men, not wayward emotional opinion. I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, that podcast, me being too hard on black men, had nothing to do with emotions. See, these guys are making comment. I don't even know what these guys are talking about. I wondered if he even got the right podcast. We need data on black men. Well, who you think is gathering that data on black men? You think black men are gathering data? Do you think the CVC belongs to black people? You think all of these institutions that gather information, you think that they're ran by black people? Who do you think is gathering this information? Who do you think is gathering? We don't need the CVC to see what's going on in our communities. We can gather our own information. We have a ton of single baby mothers because we have a ton of irresponsible black dudes making those single baby mothers. You see, we can gather that data right there with the naked eye. We don't need the CVC. And why isn't that accurate? If we can see it with our own eyes, why isn't that data accurate? Why is the data that you can't see or that you've never seen, why is that data accurate? And why is that data, why are you taking that data as the gospel? You haven't seen what that data says. You don't know who put that data together. You don't even know if that data is true, and you've never seen that data with your naked eye. So why would you put that over data you can actually see for yourself? We can go into the community and see that there's a lot of single baby mamas created by a lot of single baby daddies. We can see that. We don't have to, get a whole bunch of people together and, have some kind of long, lengthy discussion about it. We can see that Black men are killing Black women and children in our communities. We have article after article. We can actually see that taking place. So I don't understand. What do you mean we need data? We're giving you raw data as it happened. The things that I'm talking about, they're actually happening. This is not somebody gathered some information from 44 decades ago. This is going on right now. We can see this in the community right now. This is real-time data that's happening in real time in the real world, in your face. So what's wrong with that data? Again, this is data that you can actually see. What, you don't want to deal with that data? You rather go and deal with something that you really can't tell is accurate or not. Somebody comes by and say, hey, I saw 15,000 trees uproot themselves and start walking down the street. And when I stop one of them and say, hey, where are you trees going? One of them turn around and say, we're going our own way. So now I come run back to tell me, hey, I saw 15,000 trees just suddenly uproot themselves and start walking down the damn interstate. And one of them said that they were going their own way. And you're going to believe that? See, the guy that made this comment is the kind of guy that will actually believe that and go back and tell someone. Because the person that's saying that is either a SYSBM or a Manosphere or Tommy Sotomayor, right? So you believe whatever they tell you. So when you're being told that the trees are walking down the street and going their own way, we all know trees don't walk, but you're going to believe that trees walk because certain people told it to you and you didn't have to see it for yourself. And you're not even questioning the data. Somebody tells you, hey, every 10 days, 10,000 trees uproot themselves, pissed off at the world and decide to go their own way every 10 days. That's data. So you're going to believe that because somebody told you. You're not going to try to find this out for yourself. You're not going to say, all right, where's this happening at? What kind of trees are these? Trees don't walk. How come these trees can walk? Why don't you go do the research for yourself? And again, you guys trying to make emotion sound bad because you connect emotions to women. And because you hate women, You wanted to make emotions sound bad. Well, there's nothing wrong with emotions. And there's nothing wrong with women having emotions either. But there is a problem with you being psychotic, like I said before. You guys are psychotic and you try to blame that on emotions. Someone acting in a psychotic fashion, oh, he was being emotional. No, he was being psychotic. Let's stop blaming emotions for psychotic behavior. You guys are out here having psychotic episodes, and you want to say that you're being emotional. Again, these comments really, trip me out because you guys all say the same thing. You're like bots. I'm starting to wonder if all of y'all share the same brain. You keep talking about facts and you don't have any facts yourself. You guys don't have any facts. You guys don't have any real data. You are regurgitating. And you think that you can get into a real argument with somebody armed with some real ammunition. But you don't have any real ammunition to speak of because you're just regurgitating. You don't have any real information. My information is in real time. That's why you don't never hear me talk about the CBC. You don't never hear me talk about statistics. Because I don't believe in none of those because I believe that all of those statistics are screwed, they're faulty, and they can't be trusted, and they're completely inaccurate. I don't see any of that shit that these statistics tell you. I don't see any of that shit out here. I go on what I see happen in real time because what's happening in real time, that's reality. See, I'm into reality. I'm not into storytelling. I'm not into what happened 50,000 years ago. I'm into what's going on right now today. And what I see today is what I talk about. And what I'm talking about is actual real-time raw data. Because I'm either telling you as it's happening, or I told you, or I'm talking to you about it soon after it happens. And it's still fresh with everybody. That's the kind of data I'm talking about. I'm not into all of this, black men have 12 babies every 5 hours or some shit like that. Or black men take care of their kids. If that was true, maybe that was true back in the 50s and 60s. But all that black men take care of their kids and the best fathers and all that, that doesn't fly today. You don't see that out here today. So you can't tell me that those statistics are accurate for today. You can't. There's too many absentee fathers for black men to be taking care of their kids the way those numbers say. It's just too many absentee fathers. There's too many single baby mamas. There's too many single baby daddies. There's too many brothers fighting against child support. Those numbers are inaccurate. And again, if you wasn't such an idiot, following what somebody else is saying, thinking what they want you to think, understand something. If you're thinking what they want you to think, then they're the ones who are doing the thinking. You're not thinking at all. And I believe some of you don't want to think. I believe some of you are afraid to use your brain. You don't want to put two and two together. You don't want to see what's going on in reality. See, again, I'm into reality. That's why you don't hear on this channel me ever talk about the past. You don't hear me every time you turn around bringing up Marcus Garvey. You don't hear me every time you turn around bringing up Malcolm X or Dr. King or Thurgood Marshall. I don't talk about that stuff. You know why? Because those are heroes of yesteryear who made their mark. We live in a different time now. We need heroes of this era, which we don't have. None of you brothers are brave enough to take the mantle from a Medgar Evers or a Dr. King or an X and continue to work. Or Garvey, you want to sit here and talk about the work he done, but you're afraid to expand on his work. You are afraid to extend his work. Because you have to understand something, even though these guys were heroes of yesteryear, they had a lot of courage because they spoke in a time to where racism was absolutely rampant and extremely in your face. Bitch, you talking about crazy white folks that was hang you from a tree in broad daylight and set a fire under it and roast your behind. So you're talking about people who came up in extreme times. They were fearless. They had the heart of warriors. And I believe that's why many of you are afraid to continue their work, because you are afraid of what's going to happen to you. That's why I don't get involved in none of that stuff. Because they've already done what they were supposed to do. The past is called the past for a reason. It's already taken place. And many of you go back in the past to escape responsibility for the present. You figure if you talk about the past enough, nobody will ask you to be responsible today. Instead of talking about Garvey and X and all of that, why don't you be the next X? Why don't you be the next Garvey? Why don't you have enough courage to continue their work? What's the matter? You afraid? Which is realistic today for most black men, are extremely cowardly and can't think for themselves. This is why you run around here regurgitating talking points, talking about faulty data, because you have no real understanding of what's going on in life today. You can't really talk about it because you don't know how to use your brain and you can't think for yourself. That's why many of you join these factions, because, you know, feeble. You're mentally feeble. You're weak. The weak are joining the weak. The weak are following the weak. You seek out refuge because, again, you're afraid to think on your own. You're afraid that somebody's going to listen to what's going on in your head. And you're afraid to hear their comments about what they hear that's going on inside your head once you start speaking. I'm not afraid for people to hear my thoughts. I want people to hear my thoughts. I can think for myself. And I don't have a problem with not being perfect. I don't have a problem with making a mistake. I don't have a problem with being wrong about something. It's not the end of the world because you're wrong about something. I don't think everything I say is right. I don't say everything right, and I don't do everything right. Nobody does. But I don't let that consume me like you guys do. You guys sit up here and try to pretend that you're perfect and that you know everything and that you're smarter than everyone that ever came across social media. And that's why you pretty much stuck on this regurgitation. And you want to make comments about data, and you can't really put together information in real time. Again, the information that I come up with is information in real time, and you're not paying any attention to that. That's why you're looking for data that's been collected decades ago that we have no idea if it's accurate or not. Like I said, the things I talk about, They're happening right now. I don't need the CBC. I don't need any of these institutions to back me up. I have reality backing me up. When I'm talking about black men killing women and children, I'm talking about what's going on right now, today in the present. I'm not talking about Garvey. I'm talking about these new faces of white supremacy, which are these brothers who are killing our women and children. And that's something that you can see right now. You don't need the CVC to tell you that that's going on. We can see that right now. We got article after article after article after article. We got news break, news break, news break, news break. We got bodies all over the place. Bodies of women and children. These are the things I talk about. I'm not talking about the past. Talking about what's going on right now. Just the difference between me and you guys is that you ignore the present and you live in the past. Well, I ignore the past and I live in the present. Because the past isn't what's hurting us right now. The present, what's going on in the present, is what's directly affecting us. Garvey ain't got nothing to do with these, men killing black women. X ain't got nothing to do with that. King ain't got nothing to do with that. Thurgood Marshall ain't got nothing to do with that. George Washington Carver don't have anything to do with that. John Henry Clark don't have anything to do with that. What am I talking about them for? They don't have anything to do with what's going on today. And you know what was sick and sad is that we have prominent men who will feel, like I said, will feel, understand something. The times where these brothers stood up in, those were extremely dangerous times. Where they had white boys riding around in old beat down pickup trucks snatching Negroes. That's when the Klan used to ride at night. When they had them sundown towns, they still got sundown towns now. But they used to ride at night and snatch Negroes. So you're talking about guys who came up, men who came up in an extremely dangerous time. They were fearless. Some of them lost their lives because of what they believe in. Do you guys have the heart to do that today? Absolutely not. That's why we don't have any heroes today. You guys don't have any heart to do that. You're too cowardly to really stand up for your people. That's why you hide behind the shield of these factions and you throw rocks and hide your hand. And you spit out and regurgitate talking points. Faulty data. Black women killing 15 million babies. That's absolutely absurd. And only a feeble-minded person, an extremely naive person, would think of something like that as being true. Black women haven't killed no 15 million black babies. A lot of those black babies were murdered. Again, you don't know the story. You're just regurgitating. You haven't looked into this yourself. You haven't looked deep into this situation yourself. You just hear some angry black man tell you that black women did all of these hateful things. And that's what you go with because many of you hate yourselves and you hate your own mothers. So you're willing to believe anything that's negative towards black women. That's why you get into this regurgitating these talking points. And like I said, stop talking about Garvey if you ain't going to try to further his work. Garvey's work has already been done. X's work has already been done. Stop talking about these guys if you aren't going to further their work. You don't have the guts to further their work, then keep their names out of your mouth. You don't deserve to speak their names. You don't even have the courage to be a man. Many of you don't have the courage to even be black men. These were real black men. They had the courage. They gave their lives. They stood up against the system. You guys aren't doing that. You guys running around here blaming black women, wearing women's apparel, becoming more and more effeminate. You don't deserve to speak their names. And again, these comments. I don't want to hear any more regurgitation. I'm not answering any more regurgitation. If you're going to come at me with a comment, let it be something from your own thoughts. Show me that you can use your brain. Show me that you can think for yourself. I'm not impressed when you come to me talking about something you've learned from the CBC or something you are regurgitating from the Manners quiz or the SYSBM guys. We're all statistic driven because they are part of white supremacy. They're going to believe everything that comes out of the mouth of white supremacy. They are statistic driven because they, again, are part of white supremacy. They are the black hands and the black faces of white supremacy. So if you come in here with that, I'm not interested. I'm not even going to answer your comment because you're not worthy for me to answer anything. When one of you come in here with signs of original thought, then I'll answer. But if I hear any kind of regurgitation in your comment about a talking point that you got from the Manners quiz or whatever, I'm going to deem you unworthy of answering, and I will not answer you. And depending on how I feel, I may kick you off of my comment section. I want to hear signs of original thought. I want to hear comments from people who can actually think. Not people who are very good at regurgitating. I want to read comments that has signs of original thought in it. Okay? So with that being said, let me bring my co-host in here real quick before we get out of here. Name.
Yes.
Go ahead, John. I'm at the end of my rant, so give me your take on what you heard.
Well, it's like they taking in a lot of bad food and is disagreeing with them. And just like you take too much of anything bad, your body's gonna revolt. So they throwing up all over the place. They throwing up on our comments. But instead of getting away from it, getting better food or finding out what's making them sick, they just gonna go back to it and take it all in and throw it back up again. I don't know. They just they're just looking for an excuse to blame black women, not to take responsibility for it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to stats because stats can be skewed depending on the questions you ask.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So they're gonna ask a question and run with that because it falls with their narrative. But they ain't gonna open up a bunch of questions to narrow it down to find the truth of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I think you hit them with some of the things you were saying, or maybe all of it, since they weren't specific on what exactly in the area of the video they were talking about.
Mhm.
Maybe they're getting hit several times. They had to negate it in some kind of way. Yeah, they hollering out, "You don't know what you're talking about. It's an emotional opinion." Excuse you, a black man telling you that you're not that you're not behaving like a black man as far as the nature of black men that he he grew up with, what he's seen, what he was taught, and you believe he's right.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be screaming and hollering like you were. So you
Mhm.
want him to give you stats because you couldn't handle the truth. Stats skew the truth.
Mhm.
You can't get more factual than a black man. And then he wasn't even being hard. He was asking the question. He was telling you how he grew up and what it this and that and stuff like that. So you gonna negate another black man's experience? Okay. Whatever makes you sleep better at night. But if you come up here throwing up all this crap, we ain't taking it anymore. You know, because for every stats you quote, there's a counter for it. That's the bad thing about stats.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. They're not grounded. They're not a
Rooted in
truth.
reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention, as you ain't been paying attention to the world. You ain't even been paying attention to what y'all be talking about. Y'all crying about baby mamas. Okay, who made the baby mamas? Baby mamas don't make themselves by themselves. All right, you crying about the abortion. Who made the women pregnant that resulted in an abortion? A lot of times, it's the men pushing the abortion, not the women.
That's right.
And she's doing it because she's so in love with them, and he's probably feeding her. That is hard. Or she found out. She found out that he's so screwed up that she no way she can inflict a child with somebody like this, and she cannot handle raising a child by herself.
And the thing about it is, the other thing too is, right?
Mhm.
You got the brothers, you got men who will pay for the abortion. They won't pay for child support, but they'll pay for the abortion.
In fact, one of them bragged on it, if I remember.
Hmm.
But he was pissed off because his girl wouldn't take the abortion money, and now he got a child and he got to pay child support.
Yeah,
So
they don't
what
want
you crying about? Your own dudes, the guys you're with, the guys you're hanging with, are saying black women ain't having an abortion. They crying about child support. One of them even said out of his mouth, "I'd rather pay for an abortion than for child support." So
to. Okay, Dame, listen.
Mhm,
You're gonna have to shut it down for me, okay?
mhm.
When you get good and ready, I gotta go and check in, okay? All right,
Okay.
everybody. I'm gonna leave you with Dame. She will probably shut it down shortly. Thanks for tuning in to this morning podcast. Just wanted to clear the air about these comments because I'm sick of these comments. And I'm telling you from now on, if I don't see any signs of original thoughts in these comments, I'm not answering your comment. And I may just boot you out of my comment section. All right? All right, peace, power, and unity. Dame, close up shop when you're ready.
Okay. Uh, hey, good morning, Abana. Yeah. Yeah. Max, I got a comment. And then we found another comment. But anyway, I want to address the one oh hey, good morning.
Hey, morning, then.
Yeah, so Max had got a comment which led to another comment. This guy saying that Max on his am I being hard on black men? That uh
Why is
he saying
no?
that
Why are they
you
saying
need
that?
data on black men that will opinion. What? Why they
Why
saying that?
why are they always Mars being hard on black men? He hasn't been hard. He's just saying the truth, and they have to know that that is the truth that he have to say it. But they don't want to be truthful, and they'll just always lie to the women. So that is why
Yeah, that's what I believe. That he hit them with the truth. They didn't like it. They didn't like the comparison. They made it feel short of the of what he said. Or the hit dog hollering syndrome. And so he's like, "You're being emotional. You need more data on the black man. You can't get no more clear data. Yeah, you need data on black men, not wayward emotional opinions. You can't get no more data than a black man talking about black men about being black men."
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. So so I think that one's hit dog holler. But while looking at it, there's a comment about, and they keep doing it on no brother of mine's, no brother of ours. We're going, what you talking about? 15 million black women, no, 15 million babies aborted by black women. Or let me, so something along that line. Hmm. I was like, what the hell? They bringing that up again? First of all, I don't think it's anything like that. It's really hard on black women to do that. So that means there got to be a significant amount of pressure going on. Either
yeah,
pressure from the man she loved, which is usually the number one thing. We can't afford to take care of a baby right now. This is gonna be hard and stuff like that. And I'm trying to get us up, but if we have this baby right now, it's gonna um it's gonna make it hard on us. You know.
yeah. You know that you are not ready to afford a baby. Why is that you
Hmm.
don't want to protect yourself? If you are not ready for a baby, you have to protect yourself before you have to do something to the woman. Because you want a baby, that's why you don't protect yourself.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And if she's doing it on her own, that either because she told you about the baby and you just up and left her, and she can't handle that on her own. Not every not every woman, not every black woman is made to handle. Oh, shoot, none of us really, but there's some of us even less so. We can't, we can't, take care of the child by ourselves. We know it's hard. Shoot, that's why some of us don't have kids now. We're no, 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 no. I know it. As much as I like kids, and stuff like that, to have a baby by myself, take care, raise it by myself. No, so I'm just, and I don't believe in abortion, so I rather not, you know. But there are some women, okay, if push come to shove, they trusted the man. He gonna be there if it happened. It happened, and he ain't there. So she had to make that hard, incredibly hard decision. Or the man character was so messed up that there's no way. It's better in their mind. It's better for the child not to be here than to grow up with this. Or they know they can't take care of the child. Uh, it would be bad for the child, but they don't trust the foster care system. They don't trust foster care adoption. There are plenty of black women who do not, and it would
Yeah, I
drive.
don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know what is going on with black men and always just want to do something so that they can blame the women for it. You know that what you're going to do is not going to help the women, but you do it so that they'll blame the women that, oh, it's the women's fault. They are the people who caused this. I don't need any baby. You let me get you pregnant. You have to protect yourself. Why is it that you, the man, you won't protect yourself for that moment? Because you don't need any baby. You don't want a baby. So if you don't want a baby, don't go for a woman. Be there. Be single. So that the woman also will be there. That because they want to destroy the women's life, they will go in for the woman and sleep with the woman without protecting themselves.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you there. And I heard it from the horses. I asked several men, okay, you don't want to have any children. Why don't you wear a condom? Wear several condoms. Oh, but it feels better without it. Okay, whoa. So you gonna have sex with a woman you don't want to have a child with, but you're not gonna protect yourself from having a child, you know. So you gonna play hit and miss, take a chance that you won't hit, or are you gonna be bragging? Oh, my pull out game is on point. You know, I'm mature. I know how to pull it out. I'm not no little boy who can't control himself. Apparently not. If you can't wear a condom, that's control is
Yeah.
to do without some things to get some things. Hey, you get to have sex with this woman. Okay, so you don't get you get a little less sensitivity, but hey, you won't have no child you don't want. So they spoil, immature, and they want what they want when they want it, and forgetting that the nature of the world. Are they ignorant? They thinking you just gotta pull out. They don't know about uh okay, I didn't want to go in this direction. They don't know that hey, there's something called pre-com, and there's sperm in them, and you can get it, and you can have it. This is before you ejaculate. They'll leave out. They'll escape. You can't hold them. There's not muscle there that you can hold them in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this
but
is the time that we the women. Mhm.
so you know what it is? They mad at themselves because they could have did something as simple as, hey, put a condom on, or back off and say, oh, wait a minute, I don't have a condom. Let me go get let me go get a condom real quick. Or ask her if she have one. No, they could have, but no, because they want a full enjoyment of it, without any protection. No, don't
Yeah.
want to miss any sensation. I want to feel good. I want all 100% of it.
Yeah. You want 100% of it, and when it comes, because you know that when you get 100% of what you want, you're gonna get a result. So when the results come, that is pregnancy, you have to take it. because you want to join it 100%. So this is the case. When you join it finish, you will be getting your 100% baby. So you have to take care of the baby. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So for all you guys who like to hit it and quit it, you better be wearing protection. You're gonna be have a child with a woman you know absolutely nothing about. Then try to get know nothing about. All you cared was that she looked good and she was letting you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the baby's there, and then you really got to get to know. You really end up getting to know her because she's having your baby, and you find out she's crazy, she's stalkerish, she all kind of stuff. I ain't you know I ain't saying there ain't no bad ones out there, but hey, there I know a lot more good ones than I know bad ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if there's 15 million kids being aborted by black women, that means there's 15 million black men who help make those babies. Oh, maybe okay. Let me happen that. Yeah. So there are black men making
Yeah.
these babies. They either putting pressure on her because he can't afford it, or they can't afford it. He's
Yeah, it's
or
true.
she's doing it because she discovered that he's no good. He he's a liar. Instead of telling the truth that I just want to hit it and quit it and leave her the choice of deciding to take him on that on them terms, he might have told us some fairy tale and that if a baby result that he's gonna be there, and then once he got his he forgot all about them promises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or even worse, he's deranged, crazy, and she is not gonna be caught up with this crazy deranged man. Yeah, because you don't want to find out the hard way how crazy deranged he is when he's pulling out the gun to kill the child, to kill you. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So we're this will probably be the last one of these comments that we answer because hey, this is obviously a talking point. He's quoting stats that just agree with what he's saying, and I don't think they're accurate. I don't think he even bothered to look up himself what the stat says. He just going by some other dude's comment, and he ain't
Mm.
asking questions. Okay, how many of these 15 million black babies are by black women? Okay, how many of these black women that abort a baby are married, in a relationship, or single? Blah blah blah. But anyway, stats are not grounded. Shooks. Yeah. Shooks. For all I know, he could have pulled stats from a certain year because even the stats are behind. Some of them are as behind as okay. Let me see. The most accurate stats are maybe 2017, depending on it, or 2015. You don't hear him quote as of 2020. Black women
Mm-hmm.
has aborted 15 million babies. No, you don't hear that. You just hear out of the blue 15 million babies aborted by black women. Yeah. All right. So that's the wrap up, y'all. It's
Yeah.
early in the morning. Max has made his comment. I made my comment. Abby made her comment. We're gonna wrap it up and go, unless y'all had any other questions. But if not, y'all can always replay the video. All right. I want to say good night, but I'm a little bit more awake now, so I'm gonna just go about and get started on my day a little earlier. All right. Y'all have a good morning. Thank y'all for coming and listening to us. And either we'll see y'all later today or tomorrow. We definitely see you Saturday for ladies' night. All right. Peace, power, and unity. And we get my music together and let's go out with a song.